Okay, this video is notes on the distance formula. And you always use the distance formula when you're given 2 points, coordinate points, like on a coordinate plane. And it's really derived from Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And it looks a little messy, but it's not that bad. So here's the formula. It's a square root of a lot of stuff happening inside. So we got x2 minus x1, and we square that. Then we have y2 minus y1, and we square that. So we, do our x's, square it. Then we add the y's. So let's just try one, and hopefully it won't be that bad. So let's say that we were doing the distance between 2, 3 and 5, 7. Okay, so I'm going to label the points because it's really important that we know what's what. X comes first, just like in the alphabet too. So x1 and then y1. Then x2 and y2. And I'm going to even do more than that. I'm going to highlight the x's a different color. So the first number in each set are my x's, and the second number in each set are my y's. I'm going to color them orange. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So my 5 and 2 go together, and my 3 and 7 go together. So following the formula, I'm going to take 5, my x2. I'm going to draw my big square root. I'm going to go ahead and write all of the stuff that isn't going to change. So I kind of have just like spaces for my numbers to go into. So go ahead and take a minute and do that as well. Alright, if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video and then play it when you're ready. So I'm going to take 5x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 2. Then I'm going to take y2, which is 7, minus 3, which is y2. Okay, so far so good. Now I actually just need to subtract. Well, 5 minus 2 is 3. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So this is where I am so far. I have 3 squared plus 4 squared. Well, if you don't know your square roots, your squares, you can put them in your calculator. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 4 is 16. Now I'm going to take 9 plus 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. So I have the square root of 25. And maybe you already know that. That would be great. But if you don't, use your calculator. There's a square root button right here, right above the 7. So hit the square root button, and it looks like that. And you say 25, and then you hit enter, and it gives you 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. And that's our answer. So these 2 points are 5 units away from each other. That would be our answer. Let's try another one. So let's write our formula. First step should always just be rewriting the formula. The more times you write it, the better you'll get at memorizing it. Okay, so I have the difference of my x's squared plus the difference of my y's squared. And the points that we're going to use are going to be 3, -4, and -2, 3. So I'm going to highlight my x's. And highlight my y's. So I'm going to draw my square root, and I have x2. Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and kind of give myself the places for it to put it. So I'm just kind of giving myself the shell here. I'm going to have minus, my parentheses, and square. And then I'm going to add parentheses, minus, and squared. So I got -2 minus 3. And then I'm going to start with my greens. So I got 3 minus -4. Yep, okay. Now I actually just need to do the work. If I do -2 minus 3 in my calculator, I'm going to get -5. And if I do 3 minus -4, I'm going to get 7. Because these two negatives actually cancel each other out. And I'll show you on your calculator just in case you're not sure. So 3 minus -4, enter, is going to give me 7. And then -2 minus 3, enter, -5. So you can let your calculator do all of this work really for you, and then you won't have to worry about getting them, you know, a little bit of an error here and there. So -5 squared. So if I put -5 in parentheses and then hit square on my calculator, which the square button looks like this. So I put -5 parentheses and then hit this button and then hit enter, it gives me 25. Then I can do 7 squared, which is 49. Now I just need to add 25 and 49, and I get 74. So 25 plus 49 is 74. Okay. Now, 74 is not a perfect square, so we're definitely going to get a decimal, and that is fine. It's okay to get a decimal. So we're going to hit the square root button, which is right here, and we're going to hit 74 and then enter, and we get a really long decimal. We're going to round to the 10th, so 8.6. The 0 is not going to make that 6 go up to a 7, so it's really just going to stay 8.6. Oops, sorry. So I'm just going to write that over here, equals 8.6. And that's how far away those 2 points are from each other. All right, let's do one more together in our notes, and then we're going to switch over and do some practice problems on the actual assignment. Okay, I don't know if I have enough room. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to draw out the actual formula. And then my points, let's make them Let's do some negatives. That way we have some more practice with negatives. So -4, -5, and 1, -2. So I'm going to highlight my X's. And I'm going to highlight my, I think I'll make them orange. That way they're a much different color. I'm going to highlight my Y's. Okay. I'm going to give myself the shells. So all I have to think about is putting the numbers where they go. So x2, which is my second x number, so 1 minus x1 and then I have y2, which is my second y number, minus -5, which is my first y number, y1. So I have a lot of negatives here, which is good. We need to practice negatives. So I don't know if you learned integers from me, or where you learned them from, but if you have double negatives like this where they're side by side, they turn into positives. Just like over here too. But only if they're side by side. Like this -2 stays negative. Some teachers called it zapping at my old school. I don't know if that helps you at all, but so we really have 1 plus 4. Or we could have just entered it in our calculator. Watch what happens. If I do 1 minus -4, I'm going to get 5, which is exactly what we're going to get now, because 1 plus 4 is 5. So you can still use your calculator and it'll still do it for you. So we're going to get the square root of 5 squared. And then I got -2 plus 5. Well, -2 plus 5 is 3. And now we just have to find 5 times 5, because 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. And then 3 times 3 is 9. And 25 plus 9 is 34. Well, 34 is not a perfect square. Not by a long shot. So we're definitely going to have to use our calculator. So I'm going to hit the square root button right here. And then I'm going to type in 34, hit enter, and it's going to give me a really long decimal. We are looking at, it looks like 5.8, because 3 is not going to bump that 8 up. It would only bump it up if it was a 5 or above. 5 or above, give it a shove. 4 or below, let it go. So it's going to be 5.8. Final answer. Okay, next we're going to move on to our assignment, and we're going to practice some more problems on it.